All right. Got it. Good evening. We'll call to order at 7:03. Everybody's here in official capacity. So I think we can go on from audience for staff and citizens. Review of the September 8th minutes.
They look good to me.
I agree. All right, thank you again for putting those together, Mary Ellen.
Sure.
All right. That is good. Let's see, I actually had put mini splits right onto the agenda, so might as well talk about that project. I think I saw your email. Well, we can get into the discussion, but I did see your email, Dr. Sarli, this afternoon, or whenever that was from, but about Greenleaf and the fact that they said they could do it for 0%. So I thought we could add that as part of this discussion, just to have that discussion now. So, but Mary Ellen, do you want to, or between you and David, kind of go through what you've been looking at and what we've heard from?
Well, I just got the email, I guess, from Sally saying that we don't have to go out to bid, which is great because each of the companies seems to have a little bit different take on what we need. And then I would feel like we were stealing somebody's proposal to send out to the other two companies, which wouldn't sort of be kosher, I don't think. As a matter of fact, I think one of them said you can't do that. But we're going to have a presentation on November 10th from the third company. And I believe that they'll spell out everything that they would intend to do. And they seem to be more clued into what we're used to in the past of putting the total price and the price that you get the incentive money from Eversource and the remaining cost and number of payback years and how much the savings offset the cost and all of that stuff. So that's what I'm hoping for. And that's what I would hope that Greenleaf and the other company will do for us. So I think on November 10th, we should meet in person so that the person can point out things to us and hand out documents. But yeah, so far, I think we're just on a holding pattern. In 2023, there should be more money coming through for heat pumps from the Inflation Reduction Act and some other energy savings things too. So I don't think it, hurts for us to be holding on this at this point. We'll see how that money gets passed on to us, since what I hear is most of the incentives go for tax reduction and we don't pay taxes. So it also, and as an aside, it's not very good for people who don't make enough money to have tax incentives. But I think that's the way it's structured, but we'll see how that plays out as far as giving it to a nonprofit organization. So yeah,
Okay.
I think we're waiting.
I have a question. Actually, I have a thought, Mary Ellen, to all of you, actually. Is there a way that we can do a mini split, an area in the school that's a cold spot or something that we could just do a partial this year and get the program going, just to install a unit in 1 or 2 rooms, an area that is most frequently used by the kids. It's a cold spot or something like that. I need feedback from the superintendent and the staff, but you know what I'm saying? Just to get it going,
Do you mean this calendar year or this school year?
Just as soon as possible. this calendar year, I guess. Well, not this calendar year, because it's gone, but next year,
I
Before
think
the
we'll
school
get it.
year.
before the end of the school year this year.
I think we'll get it done by then. Anyway, I have confidence in
Yeah,
that.
but maybe just do a small amount of it. Just do one or two rooms.
Well,
But we could do them
The-
all.
yeah, I think one of the last gentleman who was from
Why not?
Greenleaf, he said, well, first off, we're looking at a comprehensive incentive. And I don't think we can do one part without doing the rest of them and get the best incentive. But besides that, the last guy who came through from Greenleaf said that the only current one that he would leave is the one in the server room, because he would like to keep that separate from the rest of them, just in case something went wrong. You don't want to ruin your computers. But I don't see how we could even identify what's a cold spot when we have so many classrooms. Like, we already have it in pre-K and K, and the superintendent's office and the server room.
In the
So-
cafeteria.
In the
Are they used for heat?
Okay.
Do we know if they're
No,
used for
they
heat,
could-
Sam, in the winter?
I don't think they've had that opportunity yet.
Superintendent's office, I was in there the other day, and it was on the central heat unit. It was running off the baseboard from the old system.
Yep.
It's not running off a mini split.
Right, but those mini splits that have been installed in pre-KK and the superintendent's room, I believe, are all split units that could provide heat.
Yeah, I think there's unclarity, if you don't mind me jumping in, and Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're just unclear on if we can actually turn off the heat in those rooms to have it running just off the mini split. Because you can't have obviously both going at the same
Right.
time.
What
Well,
all of the companies have
And
said is
theoretically,
you lower your oil heat to a very low degree, so you won't freeze pipes should anything
Right.
happen. Drop it down to 50 or 45 or something like that, and then put your mini split heat on.
I wonder, does
now.
that impact all of the heat though, Sam? Because we're actually having quite a bit of trouble getting a comfortable temperature in all of the rooms across the school right now.
Right. And you guys can correct me, but because it's like central, you can control, we still have those little thermostats to try to control, and not all of them function well. And David, you're right, there are certain rooms for whatever reason that are either hotter or colder, even though the temperature they're all set the same. It's just, there's no consistency, or there's some other factor that's influencing the temperature. Maybe the room is like on the end of the wing or something like that, but
Yeah,
So if
I-
we put in all the mini splits,
turn the heat
Then-
down.
then we can turn the heat down safely.
Yeah.
So that's what we should do.
yeah, and David, your idea of getting it out there as soon as possible is the same exact sentiment from all of our staff. So they're anxiously waiting for it to come. And we keep giving them updates too, because they do ask. So we say, we're having presentations coming next month, and we're going to be able to choose somebody and get them in before the end of the school year. And ideally before the summer hits again. I think if we can get it in the winter, that'd be great. But I think there'd be a really big sigh of relief before the warmer months hit again too.
So do we have to go out for bids? We don't have to, right, Mary Ellen? I read something that you put out there.
Yeah.
Sally,
so-
Well,
Sally just
Do we need
replied, yeah.
presentations? Mark, Mary Ellen, what are we gonna do?
Well, I don't
Samantha,
know,
you
go ahead.
Samantha just sent us an email saying we don't need it.
If it's,
she
if they're
asked
state,
Sally.
right, if they're state contracted already, that's what Sally sent out to us, then we do not have to because they've already gone through the bid process through the state.
So that's good.
And they
I'm
all were state approved, right, Mary Ellen?
Yeah, they're all work with Eversource prior. I don't know about Greenleaf because I didn't bring them in, but I know the other two were.
Yeah,
Um,
Greenleaf is as well. Yep.
So,
So- The next
I'm
step will
hoping
be to
November 10th.
have presentations from, and then make a before the board, have presentations and make a decision and go forward, right?
For the
Yeah,
November board,
we-
yeah.
Yeah, we have one company coming in November 10th. I don't think we can bring in all three of them because, well, maybe we can, but I don't understand what the other two were saying from what they wrote.
I kind of like, if we jump to the Greenleaf discussion for a second, even if they had a 0% financing, their number was so much higher than the other company at this point. I'm not sure why we would even want to do that, even if they were 0% financing. It's still an astronomical amount of money compared to what we could spend. So that's my opinion anyway. I don't foresee that I would be in favor of Greenleaf even at that. So
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree with Mark on that one.
I am too,
Yeah.
especially when they wrote in the, that we needed to pay an upfront fee for them to give us the scope of work.
Yeah,
yeah, no, it seems
yeah.
like
that's not necessary.
all right. Well, we're all in agreement there then.
So then it's just the two companies.
Yeah, I mean, Greenleaf is still a company because even though they've all got the state approved, I still think we needed three I'll say quotes
Sure.
in order to move forward on a project this size. So
But we don't need a presentation from them, right? We're
No.
okay without, yeah, okay.
I don't feel I need one, but
Well, if you don't need one, I don't need.
No.
So then Mary Ellen, it's just the other company. Do you need me to reach out to them for a presentation?
Sure. You might want to tell them that, they need to specify exactly what they would do and also what the incentive is from Eversource, what the payback is for us. The question that David had about how much our solar would contribute to that, how much new electricity we would need to pay for, the whole scope that they didn't do that.
Okay, if you don't mind, I can call you and you can give me all the information and I'll jot it all
Sure.
down. Yeah, okay, perfect.
awesome. Well, thank you for your ongoing efforts on this. I think it's going to be a worthwhile endeavor, and unfortunately, like all good things, it's just takes time to get through all this. It's not like the other projects we've gone into. It just takes time. Unfortunately, it's not like an instant thing that we can just jump on. So hopefully the teachers
Yeah.
can understand that and be patient with us a little bit.
Absolutely.
Good. All right. I think that was it
There's one
for
thing,
mini.
though.
Oh, so go ahead.
Mark, regarding our thermostats now, what company has installed those? I mean, do we have anybody that can look at why the system doesn't seem to be working?
Well, New England Mechanical probably should be able to.
They do. They come in and they recalibrate them periodically. We have a.
Are they programmable?
No.
When you look at it, is it an electronic display or is it one with like an old
It's
school
like,
lever?
it's like when I was a kid, you know?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I have
That
a
might
theory
be,
about
in the
those.
meantime, maybe that's an option, is to maybe an upgrade to those thermostats might help with this situation you guys are having now, but I'm not sure that would be, I think each one of those costs like $60. So if you figure out 10 classrooms or whatever, how many classrooms there are, it's not exactly, it wouldn't be a free project, but it could be. But at the same time, if we're going to have the oil system as a backup, putting in new thermostats now might be a good idea anyway, because then they might be more reliable to interact with the mini splits anyway.
Okay,
Not
But
interact,
there's a
like,
guys, just quickly, I got a theory on those thermostats. They're pneumatically controlled, and every time I've gone into that mechanical room, that compressor is running. I think you got air leaks. And I don't think anybody's really investigated those air leaks, and those thermostats are very sensitive to air leaks from what I know about it, what little I know.
Yep.
And the library, when we go in there for a meeting, you know, the stuff we go through, the frustration we had to get the controls to work right. You know, I don't know. Is there any way that somebody can check out that and see if there's, find the air leak or see what
Yep.
the problem is? It's, or maybe like
Yeah.
Mark says, maybe we need new thermostats. I don't know.
The, David, the words that you're saying are what I hear when New England Mechanical comes. They are dealing with air leaks and, you know, sometimes some other, I don't totally understand the whole mechanical part of it, but
Yep.
for them to come out is because we have a contract with them. They're kind of at our beck and call. So they do come out a lot and they do adjustments and some fine tuning and some minor repairs. And I'm not sure if that's just because of the age or,
Some of it's got to do with the age, Sam. It's got to be, you know, I'm sure. But the fact that that compressor is running all the time is telling me there's leaks, and that's costing us money just to run the air compressor from the energy aspect, and decreases the efficiency of the controls of the thermostats, you know? I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, one thing I'm gonna say about that though, is I just pulled up Joe's email, who is the third company, the ESC company. And one of the measures that they're saying, the potential measures that are as follows. And one of them is digital thermostats or pneumatic to DDC. So if that's gonna be part of the whole solution in the building, then we shouldn't go and spend money on it now,
got it.
you know?
So that could be
We
one of
have-
the three things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then what he also wrote is the air compressor for the pneumatics is 75% efficient. So
Mhm.
that's one of the things they're looking at now, and we don't want to go and spend money and then have that knocked off what can potentially be a better incentive from Eversource. So I think we have to just sit until we've got 20 days till they present. And I could email him actually and find out if that's one of the measures he's looking at, and tell him that we're having problems now and see what they say.
As well.
What DCC means, but pneumatic to DCC. I'm sorry, DDC. Digital something probably.
Digital control, yeah.
Mm.
All right. All right, I think that's it for mini splits then for now. I guess if we have to have a special meeting, like we'll have the one presentation on the 10th. But if we need to do something else, we'll just figure it out once we have that information. For the PA system project, Dr. Sarley, I guess you probably would be the most informed / person to kind of talk through this, where we're at. You were
Yeah,
saying.
so we have signed with the company and they have put out for the system. And so we're expecting it in the next week or two. And then they'll come out to install, which will take approximately a week of install. So we're getting
So-
closer and closer.
You know the name of the company off the top of your head?
I don't want to say it
Open-
wrong.
Open
Okay.
systems? Is
I
it
believe
open
that's what it
system?
is. I think that's what it is. One second. Yep, Open Systems.
And where are they
Open-
out of?
Open Systems Metro is their full, I guess, their full name. They're out of New York.
And is that the same, ended up being the same company that had installed the old system?
It is.
And then they just obviously couldn't get the parts to fix that, so we were going to the new. All right, that's
They
awesome.
they don't make our system anymore. So
Very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
And that'll restore everything, right? So even in the bathrooms now, we'll have announced the people will hear in an emergency, they'll be able to hear it wherever they're on the building.
and outdoors as well.
Do we have that before?
For a short
outside.
period of time, we did.
But not outside, Sam.
Oh, no, maybe that was cameras. I knew there was something out there. Could have been cameras, so.
Yeah, we have some cameras. Awesome. All right. So that, and did we have a final amount on that? Or that not until they get it installed?
They provided us 2 quotes, which are tentative. In the sense of like, if they came into something where they would have to repair or fix something that is unexpected, there would be a cost associated with that. And I had them quote us a higher quote in case work had to be done when kids were not there. We don't believe it's going to disturb the school day based off of what they've told us, but in the event that it does, I wanted to have that available to us. So I'm sorry, I'm just trying to pull it up right now. Because the number had gone up. Okay, so if they don't have to work on the weekends, that cost comes at $45,950. And the quote with the weekend, if they had to perform work on the weekend, is, whoops. I'm sorry, I just lost it. It is $47,326.
I'm not going to put in when this is going to be done in the notes, just for security and safety reasons. I'll just say that it's happening.
All right. Any other questions or things to discuss about the PA system?
Are they using the wires that are there? Or are they rewiring the whole system? I assume it's hard.
Yep, the intentions are to use what we currently have, unless there's something
Okay.
that's broken that they would have to repair.
Very
Okay.
good. The only thing I wanted to add is make sure you get the extra speakers that you need in those areas. You know, I don't know if the lavatory areas and stuff, do you have speakers if you think you need them? You know,
If I remember right, they were there, they just hadn't been working, so.
okay.
I don't think they're there, Mark.
Oh, they weren't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they'll be there now. All right. As far as 5-year plan goes, the only thing
Wait a minute.
I don't really have, we really haven't looked into the sunroom library repair at all. Playground, I didn't know, are all 3 units in now, or are we still? I haven't been back behind the school in a while, so.
Oh, man, I'm kicking myself now because I just got the Kerma like inspection.
Yep.
And I should have forwarded it to you guys. Let me do that. But,
They were all set?
yep, there,
Good.
let me do that. And, the other thing that I can add is that they had sent an extra, the playground company, when they had that missing piece, there, I guess it came attached to another piece. And Alan and Don took it out this morning. So it's gone. I'm so happy.
Yeah, so it's all good. Kids are using it. We had a
Yep.
little ceremony for them.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. And then on a side note for the, like the backfield and stuff like that, are we still having that mowing company? Is the landscaping company still mowing back there or?
The plan is what in it, I shouldn't even say plan. I've had a conversation with Armin, and he's took a look at the tractors, and right now they're like the tires are flat and the batteries are dead. And he's talked to Alan, and Alan came today, and that's when he Alan dropped off some sand for the preschool playscape, and took that extra piece out. But Armin wasn't there to talk about the tractors. So the plan is to get the snow blower checked out so that Armin can do that. And then the tractors, so that Armin can start doing that.
In the meantime,
So
should we
those
have
have
that
been-
landscaping?
So those have been conversations, not so much as a plan. But yeah, the Jared came and did the lawn like one last time.
I don't know when that was, just somebody from town had made a comment to me that the backfield was pretty overgrown. And they were walking on the tracks and thought it didn't look very tidy. I don't know. But I'm not sure when. He may have mowed recently, so.
I went by there one day this week. I think that's when they were doing it, right, Sam?
I think it was this past weekend, like
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, it was before that. All right.
So
And then the other thing from a 5-year plan, well, it's not really even a 5-year plan, but at the last Board of Ed meeting, Dr. Sarli, I had mentioned I would look into a sound system for board meetings that we could have. So there are some options I could forward you. What I just went on to Amazon, which is where I got most of the stuff for the church. And there's like wireless systems that I think from what I can read, it all ties right into the computer. So there's like 2 wireless mics that would feed into a soundboard, and then that could be plugged right into the computer, which would be the source of the acoustics. So that is an option. I'm not sure what the grand plan is for Zoom meetings, like if we'll continue having a hybrid or not. So that might, they weren't that expensive. Like the one I saw, I think was less than $200. And then it would range from there. And I think the top would be like, if I did exactly what we had at the church, I think it'd be like $400.
Okay.
But anyway, so I've been meaning to compile just some snapshots of what I found on Amazon and send them your way, but I wasn't sure if that was something we want to, kind of investigate or not, so. And Rose, just to let you know, this was kind of because of the issues that we had where, multiple computers and multiple acoustic, I'll say, sources all in the same room. this would kind of alleviate that. Everybody could mute their computer except for Dr. Sarli. Everybody could talk into the mics, and then that way they're, and with the control board right next to Dr. Sarli, it would be very easy to turn the sound on and off. So like if people on the TV are talking, we could just mute the mics, and that way you don't have feedback and stuff like that. So it was just an option just to kind of help support, you know, future meetings if we will continue down that path.
So would people pass around the microphones?
Well, the mics that I saw, like you can get something called a condenser mic, and a condenser mic is really sensitive. So like I think 2 in the room would probably pick up everybody's voice. And that's the problem with the wireless ones that I saw. Those are not condenser mics. So I want it to be simple enough that it doesn't, take a lot to put this together. And it's something where maybe it's like 1 or 2 cords that you can plug into the computer quickly. But so that's where I've been struggling a little bit to try to find something that's, the wireless system would be great because of that. But then you're right, I don't want it to be a microphone you have to hand around to people. I want it to be a condenser mic that they're very sensitive. Like you can talk like 2 or 3 feet away and a condenser mic will pick it up. So
We
So
might
anyway.
need a third because I need to be 10 feet away. So we might need 3 of them.
that's okay. We could actually put one over near you. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have a couple of ideas for this meeting. I spoke with our IT folks who are going to help me set up next week using just a regular amplifier and microphone as a
Okay.
setup. 2 microphones we're hoping to have set up. So one I was thinking specifically Rose for you, and then another for audience, because it seemed like the Zoom people on Zoom could hear us from my computer, like the rest of us that we were sitting there. So I think we could try it and see how it goes. Because we
had
have
trouble-
it in our building. It's not an expense to us. It's there.
I had trouble hearing you at the last meeting.
Okay.
I relied on what you had told me you were going to say, but as far as hearing what you were actually saying, I couldn't.
Okay. So maybe we'll get, I don't know if we have 3 microphones. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it
But
out.
the microphones would really only help people on Zoom mostly, right?
And in this space, right? Because it would amplify everybody's voice who
Oh,
was,
the amplifier, yeah.
yeah.
But it would be amplifying it through the computer?
No, through a speaker.
Oh, okay, that sounds good.
So this way we would really only need the 1 computer, is what I was thinking. But if that doesn't work, I have a backup that Mrs. Sankini gave me, and 2 other backup ideas.
Okay,
One being as simple as just using our phones that are dialed into the Zoom as a microphone itself. So we wouldn't get the type of kickback or feedback. And the other one was a little more complex, but she'll be able to walk me through it if we need to.
Great.
all right, well, I'll hold off for now and we'll see if these other
In-house solutions.
solutions work, pan out, and then if they don't, then I'll reinvestigate what our options are for other pieces of the puzzle.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's it for 5-year plans. Oh, go ahead,
I
Mary
just
Ann.
want to ask, is the meeting in the library? Because what I've heard from people is there's going to be a number of people coming for audience for citizens.
So Rose and I spoke briefly on this, on if we should set up in the library or set up in the gymnasium. And we were torn on, we could probably move pretty easily into the gym if we had to. But I'll go off
I
of
think
your
the library should
advisement.
work. I'm curious. No, I was just curious. I think the library will work. And I don't think people will stay through the whole meeting anyway. I think they just want to talk to us about whether or not to coordinate with Scotland. So it should probably be just a portion of the meeting.
So do you guys, and should we stay in the library or? We could stay in the
Library,
library and have the gym as our backup.
Good plan.
Okay, so our agenda says it will be in the library. So we should probably start there at least.
Very good.
All right, I don't have anything else for 5-year plans. All right, I usually have on the F&O meetings, just a discussion point on the budget. I have 2022, 2023, which I think is great. So that's this year's budget we're in now. It's not on the agenda, so I probably shouldn't talk about it, but I'll do it anyway. Just a quick note on the last year's budget. Kathy Donahue came up to me at the end of the public meeting for the combination of school thing, the OutHack presentation, and she was like, well, just to let you know that you guys were too late to request the funds from last year to be put into CNR.
Well, we're not according to the ordinance.
Right.
We can't put 40,000 in, but we can put 20,000 in still.
That's exactly what I told her. And she's like, no, you were too late to do anything. And I'm like, that's not right. So anyway, I told Kathy she wasn't right. And then I just said, well, you're the one, the chair. It's not the chair of the F&O that does that. It's the chair of the board. So Rose will be working with you on that. But so anyway, I was polite about it, but I knew she wasn't right. So,
Yeah,
but anyway, so
I'll double check it, but I just looked at it, so I'm pretty
No,
sure.
we've done that for, yeah, you're absolutely 100% right. We've looked into that multiple times over the years, so.
I might attach a copy of the ordinance to my letter.
All right, anyway, all right, well, thank you for that. And then for 2022, 2023, Dr. Sarli or Sam, I don't know, like usually it's, if there's anything that's like crazy that you guys are concerned about, this would be a discussion point for us to know about, but.
We are not at this time.
All right.
And we're starting to plan ahead for next year, so.
Yeah, that's unfortunately coming up faster than we like, so. And this is kind of well, it's not part of this meeting, so I guess it's well, I guess we're done now into the audience for staff and citizens, but I'll just ask, like in this vote in November, there is no board vote, right? This is just a state level and Senate level. It's not a local level election. Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right.
Well,
I guess,
well, there's one thing. It's not on our Board of Ed, but the registrar of voters are on this.
That's the
Oh.
only local, yeah.
They're always they're always the opposite of local, so that they're in place when it gets around to the local.
all right, well, we'll treat that as audience for staff and citizens. All right. And so as far as the next meeting goes, Marilyn, the November 10th does align with the Thursday before our full board meeting.
Yeah, because we have our full board meeting on the 3rd Wednesday of the month because of Thanksgiving. So the Thursday prior to then would be November 10th.
And so that will be an in-person meeting. I'm
Yeah.
thinking we've done it before between the office, the conference room adjacent to the office or the library. I would think that because with the presentation planned, I would almost think that we should just plan on the library. Is that all right with everybody?
I agree. We need to space ourselves a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't typically like changing times just because it's just gets confusing, but at the same time, because it is going to be in person and we have that representative coming out and then Dr. Sarli and others having to be out, do we want to do 6 o'clock? or can we do 6 o'clock, or is it better just to keep 7?
I could do 6.
6 at the library.
Well, no, the Hampton Elementary School Library.
Yeah, HES, yeah,
Yeah.
library.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good. 6 o'clock is good with me.
Rose, can you do that?
Well, I find 6 tough, but if everyone else can do it, I'm gonna try my best.
Want to do 6:30?
That
I
would,
have an EastCon meeting at 3:30, which is out of town, but 6 should work. It shouldn't be that long. But 6:30 would be for sure better.
I have two medical.
I mean, okay, go ahead.
I have 2 medical appointments that day, and hopefully I'd be back, but you know how those go.
I
Sometimes
mean,
they
Dr.
just-
Sarli, are you okay if we do it at 7? I feel bad for you. That's a
No.
late night.
It's okay. It's okay. 7 o'clock's fine.
oh, but it's in person. I see what you're saying.
You're a trooper.
It's
All right,
okay.
we'll just keep it at 7 then.
Keep it at 7.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right, and then probably similar agenda. And
Yeah,
I guess
let's put
Dr.
the
Sarli,
present-
when you want, go ahead.
let's put the presentations at the start.
Yep,
So we
that's
don't.
what I
have
was
to
thinking,
have-
yep.
Okay.
I'll probably put it right after audience for staff and citizens. I'd like to at least get through that before we do the presentation, but
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Good. No, I appreciate everybody's time. I think that's all I had for tonight.
Do we want to give them a time frame? Like, you don't want them presenting for an hour, do you?
No, whenever we did the lighting presentations, it wasn't that long. If I can get Joe to email stuff to us so we can look at it ahead, it might be better.
Okay.
And what
The,
would be the protocol
and-
about, like, if we do get a hold of this other company? And I would think that we probably, would we want 2 people, 2 representatives from the same company the same night? I would think that we want to split that up, but I could be wrong.
Well, that's why
I
I'm
think we
wondering, do
should-
we want to give them a time frame so we could stagger?
Oh, okay.
If it's only gonna be
I-
a half hour, we could probably do both the same night. If they want more time, maybe you gotta split it up, 2 different meetings,
Okay.
you know? It gets past
Yeah, I
my
agree.
bedtime too, you know?
Okay, so we'll find out what they're
Find out what they need for time and
Yep.
we'll judge it accordingly.
okay.
If it's
I don't
more
know
than
if
an
this
hour,
would be an
split it up.
option. I don't know if it would be an option, but maybe we could, if we're, for our regular meeting that Wednesday, if that second company, that might be an option where maybe we could do them at 6 or something like that before our next regular meeting, but I don't want to belabor that either and get back to back right into our regular meeting and make it harder to set up the sound and stuff like that. So it sounds like you need a little prep work for that, so.
Hey, Mark, what's your normal time getting home from work?
5:30.
Yeah, okay. We
Don't
wanna
remind me,
make-
I've been off for the last 2 weeks. Now I gotta go back to work next week, so.
Yeah. So we don't want to plan anything for you much before 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Well, I can get out earlier if need be, so. I'm a
So we
boss,
may
I'm a supervisor now. I just do ATA.
Yeah.
the,
I know the drill.
people on the Green Energy Committee want to hear the presentation too. So
Alright.
we may have a few audience or citizens.
Okay. Good. Well, all right. No, I appreciate everybody's time tonight. Good conversation. Nice to see everybody. So I think if no one else has any further, we'll adjourn at 7:47.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mark.
Excellent.
Thank
you
you,
all.
everybody.